many of our teams were not just to wash the process of counting, but prevent to go to vote. There was harassment. There were at least 30 arbitrary detentions of the Cuban activists to prevent them to get to the colleges, in which actually nothing was going decided because everything was already done for before. But even even in a scenario in which everything is already settled, the Cuban regime was in fear of we discovering how many Cubans are actually trying to reject the system and to do it publicly and to send a message to the Cuban regime that they disagree and they want real elections and they want a plebiscite to change the system. We only could be able to get to a portion of all the electoral colleges that we were trying to get because of the repression, and we assume that we arrived to those colleges in which the baskets were already arranged, in which the ballots were already chained, and even under those conditions we documented more of a 37% of rejection. It means that could be twice that that rate, could be even more. Of course, the Cuban regime got public with 10% or something like that, but everything that they say is a lie. But as we said before, the problem is not just the electoral law that makes impossible any real election, makes impossible that the people actually choose among more than one option. The problem is also the Constitution. The problem is structural. The problem is that no matter who is the head of the Council of States and Council of Ministers, the head of the state and the head of the society is the Cuban Communist Party. And that Cuban Communist Party is still under the control of Raúl Castro, as it is under the control of the Castro family, the state security apparatus, the enterprises of the military that are, by the way, the unique enterprises in Cuba, and the military. So we are talking about a family and a few other generals, as could be Machado Ventura and Ramiro Valdez, keeping still all the real power in Cuba and trying in the process to pass that power to their sons and grandsons. So Díaz-Canel has power to change things? Not really. Díaz-Canel should be pressured and should be called for by the Cuban people and by the international community to answer about the repression, about the violation of human rights, about a real change in the system. Yes, of course, because at least publicly he has a position, and he should respond to some accountability for that. So we are facing a weaker regime. We are facing a government that is not anymore that well sponsored by the petroleum of the Venezuelan people because of their own problems, and we are facing a regime that is more in need, and each day is more in need of the international community. So we hope that the international community use that leverage actually to pressure in the direction of a change in the system. Federica Mogherini is not going in that direction. She insulted the Cuban people by calling the dictatorship a single-party democracy. She has been several times in Cuba. She hasn't get a single meeting while in Cuba with the Cuban civil society. And it's not just a meeting. The fact is that the Cuban civil society, the opposition, the independent actors in Cuba have been also excluded for this process of negotiations among EU and the Cuban regime. So it has been a way that the regime has get to extend the exclusion to the of the Cuban citizenry. It's a shame that Europe, that should be defending the opposite values, have been trapped in this game of the dictatorship. And the point here is that they were not brave enough, or they have been not brave enough to put conditions to the dialogue, to put conditions to the negotiation table. And if you do not put conditions to the dictatorship, then the dictatorship ends up getting all the benefits of being partners of democracies.
Thank you. Anyone else on the panel want to comment on that before I open the floor? I now open the floor for questions. If there's any questions from the audience, any member states want to raise anything? I know we have one in the back from Venezuela. Seeing no further questions, I will turn any final concluding comments. Sandra, if you have any final comments.
Well, I think from this panel, in this panel we really described what is going on in Cuba. We really described the enormous human rights violation that we see in the island, and our hope and expectation is that tomorrow we can see some of that in the report. Otherwise, we will continue our fight with supporting independent Cuban civil society, and I hope that we can have more alliances and more support even from institutions and democracy around the world.
Thank you. Any final comments?
Bueno, muchas gracias por permitirme participar, y simplemente quiero concluir con lo que tiene que ver con este examen periódico universal, que con todos sus pros y contras de alguna manera reconoce que los derechos humanos están por encima de la soberanía estatal. Este examen, al cual todos los estados, cada uno de los estados se somete y recibe comunicaciones e informaciones de la sociedad civil, de las propias Naciones Unidas y las recomendaciones de otros estados, es el ámbito ideal para la política exterior en derechos humanos. Es decir, si hay un ámbito donde un país tiene algo para decir, es en este ámbito, y bueno, muy especialmente en aquellos países como Cuba, que tienen una política de Estado que viola los derechos humanos. Es decir, en todos los países se pueden violar los derechos humanos, pero no hay países donde hay fallas del Estado, donde el Estado no garantiza la vida de los periodistas o de los políticos, países con problemas internos, pero son países que reconocen los derechos humanos y tienen problemas para garantizar los mismos. De la misma manera puede haber países donde algún funcionario o alguna persona de las fuerzas de seguridad puede cometer un exceso, pero bueno, van a tener que rendir cuentas a la justicia. En los casos de países como Cuba, que tienen una política expresa de represión de las libertades fundamentales, porque condiciona el ejercicio de los derechos a los fines de la sociedad socialista, ese país tiene una política de Estado claramente violatoria de los derechos humanos, y en casos como Cuba y otros tantos casos más, 40 o 50 por lo menos, de países que tienen políticas similares que reprimen el ejercicio de los derechos humanos fundamentales, es cuando las democracias tienen la oportunidad de pronunciarse en su examen periódico universal. Y poniéndolo del lado de Argentina, cuando fue nuestro examen el año pasado, el examen lo tomamos como un desafío, es decir, lo que se nos señala debe ser tenido en cuenta para mejorar, para aspirar a ser un país en el cual no solo se reconozca legalmente, sino se puedan ejercer los derechos humanos en todo sentido. Así que bueno, muchas gracias.
José María, any final comments?
Sí, solo repetir que después de más de medio siglo, después de ser la dictadura más longeva del hemisferio, una de las más tóxicas y las más criminales que hemos sufrido, esperamos que las democracias del mundo se atrevan a retar el sistema apoyando el derecho a participar y el derecho a decidir del gran excluido que ha sido el pueblo cubano. Y finalmente, no olvidar que aquellos que luchamos, y sobre todo los que lo hacen o lo hacemos dentro de Cuba, nos enfrentamos a la indefensión total si las voces de la comunidad internacional no se levantan. Y hace 6 años el régimen cubano, los hermanos Castro asesinaron a mi padre y a Harold Cepero. Lamentablemente no han sido los únicos asesinatos de Estado, en los últimos 6 años. La manera de proteger los cuerpos de los defensores de derechos humanos y de cualquier ciudadano que se atreva a enfrentar el terror en Cuba, la única manera de hacerlo es levantar las voces de la comunidad internacional y levantarlas de manera efectiva. Sabemos que hay más de una dictadura en el Consejo de Derechos Humanos, pero sabemos también que hay más de una democracia. Esperamos que estas democracias tengan el valor de plantear una resolución condenando los crímenes de lesa humanidad del gobierno cubano y de votarla en ese Consejo de Derechos Humanos, y que sean las dictaduras las que se abstengan o las que voten en contra, pero que lo que marque la época no sea el silencio de las democracias. Gracias.
Thank you very much. I just want to, before we conclude, just to note, as you can see, that this event is being recorded and photographs are taken. These will be posted on the internet, on the UN Watch page, but I'm sure Freedom House will be posting it, and the various organizations will be sharing it on the internet, and will be available for everyone as this event was being Facebook livecast. And thank you to our panelists, and thank you everybody for being here. Thank you.
Thank you.